Yo, what's going on? This your boy Big T, with Extreme Sports with your boy Big T and King, and we got C's on the line. What up, C's?
Yeah, what's going on, Big T?
Nothing much, nothing much. Like we say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the intro of the street stories, um, through in life and how they overcame a lot of stuff. And this is C's. C's, you've been through a lot, younger days and stuff like that. You've been in the streets, you've been to prison. Um, what do you want? What? How do you want to start off with telling people your story?
Uh, well, it's so my story's so long. It's so much that I've been through it so at such a young age that I probably would have to go to my youth. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't lacking for anything. You know what I'm saying? They taught me the right way to do things. I had a grandfather and a grandmother. I was saying I had a mother there too, but she was paralyzed ever since I was 2 years old. So
Yeah,
like more the responsibility went on my grandparents.
yeah,
But I just fell in love with the streets for some reason.
yeah.
And it was I went against everything they taught. I was in church every Sunday, you know what I'm saying, sometime during the week, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like they didn't teach me the right way, but I just got addicted to the streets, man, that street life.
Okay. So
So
what was just I could say what was just the addiction for you for living, just going hanging out with the boys and stuff like that, and just was it the money, at the time?
even the money that was the motivation and it wasn't like I ain't really I home with the boys, but I really didn't do my a long time, you know what I'm saying, by myself, you know what I'm saying, because I guess I was more inclined with I was a stick up kid, you know what I'm saying? Just to really be a drug that's a straight flat out drug dealer.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That wasn't my thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I used to untouchable with that gun, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I did a lot of crazy things, man, not thinking like I could have died a lot of times. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like everybody had one. You had to be stuff like that. But back then you had to if somebody felt like you had a gun and you wasn't who you street, you know what I'm saying, from the streets or you wasn't really
Yeah.
and I just got to yeah, it's a way different era now.
So, like you said, you had that gun, that power. It was just addicted to you. It's just like, how you look at power, and like power these days, and what's Taylor, what you call his show name? That come on. I don't know. I can't look at it. Well, like I said, power. It's just like you the man. Nothing can stop
Yeah.
you. Yeah, you just so addicted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just what changed? Oh no, Real's not on the rise, not yet. Okay, what was the what just at that time was nothing? Nothing feared you. You had kids back, at that time. What was it? Just you knew you had to take care of your daughter. 'Cause I think your daughter about what 22, 23, your oldest child, right?
Yeah, one of them 23 and one 24
Okay.
right now. Yeah,
How do you
my
feel
two
about
oldest.
how do you feel about them at that time? What they were looking, for your father. You had to take care
See,
of them.
yeah, that's the crazy thing about it too, because the money wasn't an issue back, you know what I'm saying? Money wasn't an issue because of, you know what I'm saying, the lifestyle I was living. So I wasn't really thinking about the future or none of that. So as far as the kids wise, I was doing my duty as a father, but
Uh,
I failed them horribly when I got locked up. You know what I'm saying? I failed them. You know what I'm saying? I failed them bad. 'Cause that took they was like 2 and 3 years old at the time, and I took 10 years away from them at once. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of put a big dent in our relationships. That's why I'm so with my kids now. That's why I'm so freely, you know what I'm saying, want to be with my kids all the time, because I think about that time I went away from my two oldest and the effect that it has on our relationship. You know what I'm saying? It put a big strain on both of our relationships. So, I mean, and right now it ain't a perfect relationship with one of them, you know what I'm saying? So that I'm still paying for it. It's not like it's over, you know what I'm saying? Even though I did my time, but I'm still in my heart, I'm still paying for it because of the relationship I have with my second oldest daughter.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a big change. I mean, that's a big reason why I changed my lifestyle too. Because after the 10 years, I still came home, and you could say like for the first 9 months, because I was on 10th parole, you got to go there every week and piss in the cup and all that stuff, and they ready to send you back to prison. And the crazy thing about it, I couldn't stop smoking weed, you know what I'm saying? But the man still had the mercy upon me. Like, I understand what you're going through. You've been going for that amount of time, so as long as you ain't doing no heavy drugs or whatever, I won't violate you. Because he could have sent me back to prison and made me do 3 more years.
Okay. Yeah.
But he never, you know what I'm saying, but the grace of God and him having some understanding, and he was a white man, and he had some understanding that he felt what I was going through, because I was lost when I came back out here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want to deal with people because I know how they was, you know what I'm saying? I've been in the penitentiary and seeing guys telling their mothers, their brothers, and I just didn't trust nobody, so I didn't really want to deal with nobody. I was more to myself.
Yeah.
And that's why I had a whole lot of women, more like, you know what I'm saying? I was dealing with a lot of women because I didn't trust guys, you know what I'm saying? I didn't like, you know what I'm saying, being around them for so long. I just didn't, that's the last thing I want to be around, a bunch of dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
After being around them for so long. So next thing I had to overcome, and I just didn't understand a woman at the time.
Yeah.
I was dealing with so many women at the same time that it kind of had my mind. I couldn't function. I couldn't set myself to get myself together because I was all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the cities, all different states, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I couldn't, after the 10 years, I still couldn't maintain. I'm just right now at these last 4 years, 3 or 4 years, getting myself together, you know what I'm saying? Well, you know what I'm saying? It's not an easy thing, you know what I'm saying? Living that lifestyle, it's not an easy thing to just walk away from.
Yeah. That's very true, because you were so in it for so long, and it was hard to change at that time and stuff like that. You don't got to go in details about why you went to prison, but you want to tell a little bit about the prison life?
Oh yeah, I can definitely tell you about that. Yeah. That's prison life really opened my mind. But how I got into the penitentiary was me and a couple of my homeboys was out, you know what I'm saying, out riding around, and I was a stick-up kid, so, and the couple of guys I was riding, I was the only one that was doing that type of stuff, so one of them had owed me some money from doing something else, and he was like, yo, man, I'm going to do this lick, and I'm going to pay you your money back. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So I gave him the gun, and long story short, he ended up killing somebody, you know what I'm saying? He didn't do what he didn't know what he was doing, ended up killing somebody. And we all get jammed up in the situation, you know what I'm saying? My other co-defendant got like 14, 15 years, something like that, and they gave me 10, and they gave him like 61 years, I think. The guy that killed him, they gave him like 61 years. Yeah. So all of us, you know what I'm saying, all of us had to go our separate ways, you know what I'm saying. And at the time I didn't know nothing about prison. All I knew, I seen Scared Straight. I had seen Scared Straight out here in the streets, you know what I'm saying? So I had never been to jail before. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. I went to jail one time, and I was out of there within about 30 minutes or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I really didn't know what the inside of the jail looked like. So it was just a rude awakening. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking at any day, and when I first got there, I'm thinking like any day they're gonna come and get me and let me out of here because they got me here for murder. You know what I'm saying? I said I ain't killed nobody, so I'm good. That's what I'm thinking. But when you start learning about the laws and they got a thing called acting in concert, that even if you with somebody and they do something and you don't report it or call the police, you're just as guilty as they are, and you subject to get as much time as they do. Yeah. But I didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? I was, 19 years old? I ain't know nothing about 20 years old. I ain't know nothing about that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I was cripping, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to be a crip bad. I just got addicted to being, you know what I'm saying? So I just did the gang life. I know not to talk, so I just sat down there and did my time, and then they came with a plea bargain talking about 15 to 17 years, I think. No, 21 was the first plea they came to me with. I said, 21 years? Is you crazy? I was like, nah, I can't do that. Yeah. Then they kept, they kept coming, and the next time they came with like 15 years, 12 to 15. Yeah. I was like, man. But the environment that they have you in, they have you so messed up in your mind that you'll be ready to jump on anything just to get out of that hole. They'll let you know you ain't going nowhere. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Basically, your lawyers give up on you. They're like, man, you got to do something. You got to take something. Yeah. So I told him, try to give me 6 years and I'll take it. I said, well, give me 6 years and I'll take it. He said, I can't get you 6 years, but he came back down there. He gave me a plea for 8 to 10. So I took the 8 to 10. Okay. So, but the prison life inside the pen, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. That's what I was going to ask you right then. What was about the prison life inside the penitentiary is what really woke me up, though. Yeah. I was in there thinking. I only seen Scared Straight, you know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I got to grab a knife as soon as I get there. I got to stab somebody, you know what I'm saying, to show you guys I ain't playing. And that was my mentality. That was the first thing I'm going ahead and get a knife. I had to get stabbed somebody, let these dudes know I ain't playing. Because that's all I seen on the, you know what I'm saying, on the TV. Mm-hmm. So I get there, but it's a whole different ball game. You know, so I get down there, and it's like 100 people in the day room. Yeah. As soon as I walk in the door, and it's like me and maybe 2 more guys that come in the dorm at the same time. Yeah. And we're at Central Prison now. You know, cats death row, life for 100 years. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming there with 8 to 10 years, thinking I got a whole lot of time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So everybody in the day room just stopped and look at me. You know what I'm saying? Boom. So what really changed my perspective on and made my bid better was